Good morning, everybody. It's Daniel White, right here live from Denver, Colorado area. And welcome to the Doctor's Clinic's call where the world is your waiting room. And Dr. Kurt Visniks has been bringing us some great information, and we had a fantastic discussion last week on just the beginning of how you can share the products with people. And we went into some of the do's and don'ts, which is, not trying to be negative, but there is a proper way of doing this, and in a very, very ethical way of doing it, or you can involve doctors and stuff in the conversation of, will these products harm or hurt you, and then coming from a position of not promising everything and making any guarantees. That's even why a lot of our docs, will talk about their practicing medicine. They're not necessarily accomplishing it or have perfected it. Because one thing I learned from Tom, and Doc, you can jump in on this in a second, is we talked about something. I said, Tom, can a person use this and this if they're going through, like, for example, sugar sensitivity or high sugar levels? And he said everybody's body is different. He said this is why something will work perfect for you, but we need to make adjustments for someone else. And I thought that's extremely good wisdom. Dr. Kurt Visniks, good morning, sir. Welcome to the call, buddy, and kind of excited about today. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the call, DW.
Man, it's just fun having you on here. And we're going to continue on with that topic of last week and jump into some of those things like that. But just what's on your heart when it comes to your mind about talking about the products? Is that true? Everyone's body's different.
You bet. Well, and that's the truth. Every one of us, it's not just our bodies that are different. It's the environment that we live in. I live up here in Fargo, North Dakota. I live near farm country, and so I'm exposed to farm chemicals. We have water that's been exposed to farm chemicals. We have air that's been exposed to farm chemicals, but we also have manufacturing up here. So I'm exposed to that as well. And you live out there in Denver. You have a different array of chemicals that your body's been that it's been exposed to. So that makes a difference. It makes a huge difference because you could take a person from Denver and place them in Kansas, for example, and there's going to be a different set of reactions. The body's it's going to be different because of the environment it's in. So we have to look at all of that.
Environment does make a difference. The air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, and you and I both know when it comes to how you talk about products, well, you have to talk about environment to start with to find out where someone's at. The air freshener that we have, or just the air purifier that we have for the automobiles, Miss Helen and I love it. And because we are in Denver, and there are times we're going through the metro areas, and a lot of those fumes from other cars are seeping into our automobile, and we could just absolutely nip it in the bud right there with that little air treatment system. So, and then we also know, Doc, the water's not getting any cleaner or any better. Yeah, they're not doing that, and there's a lot of concerns about running out of water and the whole 9 yards as far as that goes. And then we also know the food doesn't have the nutrition in it. So you talk about the air, you talk about the water, you talk about the food. All three are getting, and I'm bad grammar, but they're getting worse. They're worse and worse. There's some really bad grammar for you. And so they're not getting any better. And so when it comes to talking about, so let's look at that. What are some things? And did you want to jump in Triangle of Life, how to talk about that, or did you want to jump into something else?
Well, I think we'll just, why don't we just keep up the conversation? But, the thing about it is like you said, there's a good way to present products to people. If you come across as a slick salesperson, a slick Eddie type salesperson, people put up a wall. And when they put up that wall, it doesn't matter what you say after that. They're just thinking, oh, DW is trying to sell me another one of his products. And you don't want to do that. So what I try and tell people is that, I've read some compelling information. I've read some information that you might find interesting as well. And I'm always trying to share the information with people because then it doesn't come across as sales, excuse me. And that's really what you want to do. And the other thing is that we can't make claims on our products. Number one, we don't want to make claims because of the fact that we don't know exactly what's going on inside that person's body. I mean, they might have cancer. It might be stage 4, but it might be only stage 2. I mean, and those are some things that you don't know. But also, you know, we don't know how their body's going to react. Maybe there's other things going on inside. So you have to be careful with making the claims as far as that goes. And the FDA also says that we can't make claims on products because we've never actually tested our products. We don't have all the clinical research behind our product. So what you want to do is you want to say, you know, for example, let's talk about the Eternity product. On Eternity, there's resveratrol, and resveratrol has a ton of studies. You can go on PubMed, and I can point to the research all the time, and I can say there's research on resveratrol, and here's what it says, and I can be pointing to that. I can have that research in my hand. I can say, DW, I'm going to email you a piece of research on resveratrol, and then I'm going to email you a piece of research on our product. Our product happens to contain the therapeutic dose of resveratrol in the highest levels, so that now I can point to the research on resveratrol, and then I can point to our product, and I say, you know, if you trust the science, you can trust our products, and that's what that really means. So, DW, I hope that I answered that.
You answered that awesome. I mean, absolutely awesome. And, you know, it's like this. We talk about, oh, we can't promise anything. Well, I'll tell you what, you know, I've been to the doctor. He never just said, hey, I promise you this medicine's going to work, you know, because he doesn't know how our body's going to react. And I love, Doc, when you got into environment. And so we can help people. We can't change their environment. I can't like, woohoo, farmers, stop spraying. I can't go, wow, water, bam, be clean. You know, or, man, food, have all the nutrients in it, just boom, can't do that. Here's what we can do. When the water comes into our house, we can run it through our diatomic hydrogen filtering system, which is a four-stage filter, and get just as clean as water as you can possibly get, taking all the junk out of the water. That we can do. We can sit there and put people in a situation when they're going down the road in their automobiles and all that kind of stuff, where they can have cleaner air in their automobiles with the air treatment system as well. And actually, not too long ago, Doc, Miss Helen and I, we were at went to Best Buy and we bought the best air purifying filter thing that they had there, and we run it all the time, and we put it in different rooms and blast it out, and we do that. Pollen gets me this time of year. Pollen nails me to the wall. And so allergies are a challenge. When I was a little kid, my eyes on the farm would just literally swell shut at night because I had so much allergies. And they finally came out with this testing to where they pricked your back at 12,000 different times to find out exactly what you were allergic to. And then, Doc, mom and Dad bought into the system of, I go get these syrup shots every single week, and I had allergies so bad that I would have to get the syrup shots not just once a week, but about every 4 days. You know, unless it hit on a weekend and the docs weren't there, I'd walk in and get my shot and go, and to help me with allergies. And all that stuff ended up trashing my kidneys and giving my liver a hard time and filling it up with junk. And so how we get the relief, Doc, with what I call with Tom stuff. I mean, the triangle of life is, so those are going through some, how to talk about, you're going through allergies. I can talk to you about that all day long. The food allergies, Doc, I have is crazy. And so, but when I got on the triangle of life and added the body shield and influence, is a massive difference when it comes to going through allergies. And so when it comes to talking about the products, here's what I'm saying. Share your experience and share someone else's experience about how the products impact them. And then Doc gave you a great tip, all of us a great tip. Give some outside study information. Don't be afraid. I don't want to pile tons of stuff on people, but, you know, everybody can go to pubmed.gov, I believe it is, and do your own research. But I love some independent research that I'll send somebody. It's not the only thing I ever give anyone, is on the Ficoid, Doc. And it gives you like 98 reasons Ficoid can benefit you. And that's independent research that's out there. Okay. And so it's independent research that's not Sisel produced or Sisel promoted. You know, it's coming from outside sources. And that helps wise decisions on allergies. It helps some people with allergies. Helps some people is the Avenger as well, the product that we have. And so, you know, loading up on with someone going through some asthma challenges also is the Spectramax, which is a game changer. So, Doc, does that kind of help people know, you know, like how we can tell stories to help share products?
You bet. Yeah, and just you know, I think the best thing is that you can share your story, right? And so you want to have your own product story. If you don't have anything wrong with you, you know, your product story could be quite simple. You can just say, you know, hey, right now I don't have anything wrong with me, and I want to keep it that way. I want to keep my body healthy. I want to keep things working the way that they are. And you know, and as DW is talking, he's talking about how the water, the air, the food, it's all, you know, it's all loaded up with toxins. We're all exposed to toxins. And a number of years ago, I remember going to a seminar. It was probably, you know, 15 years ago now, and they said that you know, you can run, but you can't hide. You can't hide from the toxins that are out there, and you can't live in a bubble. You know, chances are the bubble will be made out of plastic anyhow, and you'd be exposed to the plastic toxins. But you got to look at it. Okay, what things can I eliminate? What things can I do to make my lifestyle healthier? And so I always start out with people. Look at what you're being exposed to on a daily basis. Where are those toxins? Right? You know, you brush your teeth. Get a toothpaste that doesn't have toxin in it. You brush your teeth twice a day. You should start there. That's a real simple place. Your soaps, your laundry detergent, because you know most of the time you're wearing clothes, and if those clothes are washed in laundry detergent that has sodium lauryl sulfate, if it has sulfates in it, that's rubbing against your skin. It's absorbing through your skin into your body. You're being exposed to that. Like I said, most of the day you have some kind of clothing on, and you know, and maybe DW doesn't down in Denver down there, but I don't know. You know.
I'm gonna knock you out.
But most of the time we're being exposed to that. So those are two places that you want to look. Personal care products like shampoos that you're putting on your hair. I mean, think about it. You're using you're in a shower that's got hot water. The hot water's opening up your pores, and then you're pouring this toxic product on the skin, and in less than a minute, those toxins are absorbed into your skin, and so those are some places you can really start. And it's an inexpensive way to get started, and you can talk to people about that pretty easily. You can say, okay, you want to start making some changes. Here's where I would go first. Right, because you're not having to have them add a new habit. I mean, let's face it. When I get up in the morning and I take a shot of Fucoid and a shot of Eternity and a shot of Spectramax, I had to get in the habit of doing that. I had to go to the refrigerator. I had to do that day in, day out, and I had to do that all the time until finally it was just part of my daily habit. I would go to the refrigerator and I'd pull those bottles out and I'd have a shot of each one of those. And so sometimes that's difficult to get people to do, to get them to change their daily habits. So if you start out by talking about products like shampoo and detergents and laundry detergents and dish soaps and things like that, it's easy because they're already doing it. All you're doing is replacing their toxic products with healthy products. So it's a great introductory type of thing. When we look at skincare products, you know, I agree with Tom. The Intrepid, the products that we have, the impact products that I can put that Intrepid on, I can put that on someone's face, and I can say, look at the results of that. And now with the new formulation of Intrepid, you know, in 5 minutes you can go look at that. But again, if I'm going to get them to start using that product on a daily basis, it's going to be, you know, getting them to have a new daily habit. where if you get them to use the products like the shampoo, the toothpaste, things like that, it's an easy product because it's something that they do every day. They don't have to think about, brushing their teeth. They just do it. We're taught from when we're little kids that that's just something that you do. And now, we were on the Maui cruise, and everywhere you went, you couldn't walk 20 feet down the hall without them having a hand sanitizer. You go to a hospital, visit your friend in the hospital. If you work in a hospital, what do they got? They got hand sanitizers everywhere. You walk in public restrooms, they have hand sanitizing soap. And these hand sanitizing soaps, they have the different triclosans in them that are dangerous. They actually cause cancer. They're endocrine disrupting. And so we can start talking about that we're coming out with a product. We don't have it yet, but we're coming out with it. Again, it's an introductory type of product that people are used to using on a daily basis. When I'm introducing Sisel to people, I want to have something that's not going to cause them to throw up a wall. They're not going to throw up their hands and say, no, what's Kurt trying to sell me now? Right? I want them to go, I want them to listen and create something that they're like, okay, I do that. That's what you want them to say. I would do that. I could change that. And then once they do that, maybe this year, 2017, what if that's all they did? What if you got them to change their personal care products and they were removing those toxins? Well, I mean, it's going to make their lifestyle healthier. Then you say, okay, so what's the thing that you're exposed to, the next? Well, when we take a look at it, the second most traded commodity on the planet is water. Wouldn't it be a wise thing to do to talk about the super hydrogen water machine? Maybe they can't afford it today, but if you said, hey, DW, if you start putting away a little bit of money today, you'll be able to afford that product next year at this time. Next April, come this time of the year, you could buy yourself one of those super hydrogen water devices that you could put in your house. And now you got safe water for you and your family, and now you can eliminate those plastic water bottles. I go to the gym every day, and I bring a container of super hydrogen water. People ask me about that. They're like, we noticed the wording on your hydrogen water bottle or on your water bottle. What's that mean? And then I get a chance to explain that to them. And I bring it with me when I go to restaurants, and when I go out for dinner, I'll bring that with me, and I always have a chance of explaining that to people. And some people, they'll jump on it right away because they go, I've been looking for something. And you better believe it that over 40% of people are looking. They just don't know about it yet. Sisel is we're kind of an unknown to a lot of people, and so you got to expose them to those different kinds of things, and make sure in your house don't have the toxic hand sanitizers in your bathroom. Have Sisel products there, because when people come to visit you, they're going to notice that you're not just talking about it, you're living it. And then that'll lead into the conversation about the other products that we have, the Eternity, the Fucoidin, the Spectromax, the 4 Restore. I mean, I could just go on and on and on about the different products. Tonight I'm going over to a friend's house, and Liz is going to have me explain the cosmetics. I don't use them, but I'm going to explain why they're healthier. And she's going to expose, I don't know, somewhere between 10 and 20 people to the non-toxic products that we have. And so those are some things that you can do, and all of a sudden you start sharing that with people, and not only are you changing their life and making their life healthier, but at the same time, you're building yourself a little business, and what better way to be able to afford to try the products than to have the company pay you to try the products. Right, DW?
100% right. And Doc, you made a good point about, just integrating the products. In other words, it's something my son said something to me a few weeks ago. He goes, Dad, what we have is a lifestyle change when it comes to Sisel. a lot of people have this great opportunity when it comes to networking or even a business opportunity or whatever, but it's not necessarily a lifestyle change. And when you change your toothpaste out and you change your shampoo and conditioner out, your mouthwash out, and the biggie, the number one biggie you should change out, like as in yesterday, is your laundry detergent as well. You mentioned that as well. And then you're changing out, all the hand sanitizers and the dishwashing liquid and how you clean and wash your food to get all the junk off of it with our Veggie Cleanse. And so those changes are vital. Now, how you explain those changes can be difficult for someone, but Tom made it extraordinarily simple for us to talk to someone about lifestyle changes with one of the number one tools that Miss Helen uses all the time. Katie Byler has mastered the using this tool. Mary Ann has done the same thing, mastered using that particular tool. And it's called the Sisel, wish we had one for that, Sisel Safe Brochure. And you go in there and you talk about, and Doc, I do it like this. I'll talk to someone, and everybody knows it, whether they use it or not, but just would someone take their mascara brush, dip it into brake fluid, then dip it into antifreeze, and then put it on their eyes? And the answer is no. No one would ever do that. And then the person that obviously I'm talking to that has done that, I said, well, you did it this morning. And I said, and then you pop over the Sisel Safe Brochure. Here's what's in in a lot of your makeup and especially your mascara and so on and so forth. And that opens up the conversation, because I'm not trying to sell them something. I just want to educate them. And then immediately, everyone I've ever shared that with said, well, how do I get my hands on? And I said, I'm glad you asked. Give me your digits and I'll send you a link. And I go back to my website and I pull up the mascara brush and even the 3D, and I'll send those two links. They click on them, and boom, it's ready for them to order and participate in getting that stuff out of their life. So it's a lifestyle change, and people do that in steps. Maybe you start, like Tom talked about today, maybe you start in your bathroom, and then you move into your laundry room, and then you move into what's going on in your kitchen, and then you move into specific issues that we need. I mean, brain health is something you cannot compromise or dink around with. Everybody needs our brain health products. And so when someone's you don't want to, once something, and Doc, you taught us this last week, once something shows up on the radar that you're having trouble, a lot of times it's too late. We want to move into prevention, and we know what toxins do to the brain. And that's a lot of places where the heavy metals will cross the barrier. I don't know how they do it, Doc, but they cross the barrier and they reside on the brain and plaque builds up. And so you could talk to people about those specific issues. Then another tool we have to help you, so you don't have to be the genius. You can open up the Sisel Safe Brochure and let it do the talking for you. And challenge people to take one or two or three products. I used to say, get all your products, put them on the kitchen table, and compare everything. And that was just, nobody wanted to do that. Just grab one or two products, turn the bottle, read what's in there, open up the Sisel Safe Brochure, and look at the definitions of the words, like sodium lauryl, however you say that word. Say it, Doc, for me.
The sodium lauryl sulfate?
Yeah, that's how you say it. See, I don't need to be the genius on saying it. I've got Doc in my life as a best friend and a business partner, and in all kinds of areas that we're always doing something. But then the second thing you have is the Mauer mission for them to explain. Tom goes right to his workshop, and he holds you up the antifreeze, and he holds up brake fluid, and he talks about it right there. So once you shared that with him, then you show him the video, and he backs up what you just said. Well, you're backing up what he said. And then you do what Thomas, my son, was talking about, is you talk about a lifestyle change. My kids' life is different than what it was, 4, 5, 6 years ago. And, 4.5 years ago, not quite, but over 4 years ago, because of the lifestyle change of what we have when it comes to just the simple shampoos. Shaving gel. Are you kidding me? And Doc talked about, they're saying now it might be better to clean your hands in cold water because hot water opens up your pores and allows the toxins and junk to seep in. And then Doc just brought that up today. I'm going, man, this is, so there's a lot of education we need, but you really don't need a lot of education when it comes to, do you want to put poisons on your body, yes or no? And people just let them answer that question and say, I didn't want to. And let me tell you what I found out. Open up the Sisel Safe brochure. Let it do your talking for you. Great way to share the products. Take them to the Mauer Mission video, which is a game changer. We'll be doing a big taste and talk tonight. And we're going to have a blast with it. But one of the things we'll do at some point during that taste and talk is we'll stop, turn to a 60-inch screen TV, and let everybody watch the Mauer Mission for a few minutes. That's a game changer. And so we're excited about doing that and making that happen. Doc, does that help out just a little bit too there?
You bet. That's exactly how you do it. You make it simple because, the people that are going to become your business partners, they're watching what you're doing, and they're thinking to themselves, can I do this? And then they're thinking, will I do this? And if it's easy, then they can and they will. And so sometimes, you can even simplify it a little bit more. Like I used to carry a little bottle of food coloring with me, and people say, well, what do you got that? And I'd say, well, this is just a little bottle of liquefied lead. And I knew it was just blue food coloring, but I would take and I'd dump it into I'd put a drop in their water, and I'd say, would you drink that if you know that I just put lead in there? And they'd say, absolutely not. And I said, but you do it every day. And they kind of give you that look, and then you say, you tell them, that gives you a chance to open the conversation, and all of a sudden now you can start talking about it. You can start talking about products, or you can say, I just put a little sodium lauryl sulfate in your water. They don't know if you really did or not, and you tell them, you say, but you put it on your body every time you shower, every time you shampoo. I've got an appointment to get my hair cut tomorrow. I go there with my own shampoo. I bring a bottle of the shampoo with me, the Sapphire shampoo from Sisel. I bring it with me. And the gal that cuts my hair, she laughs at me every time I go in. And she said, you're the only guy in the whole city of Fargo that brings your own shampoo. She said, there's girls that do it, but you're the only guy that brings your shampoo. And every time she has to have me explain why do I bring this shampoo with me? Why don't I just let them use their products? And I have to explain it, and it's month after month after month. I explain the same thing. But that's what we have to do. If you're gonna live really as healthy as you possibly can, little things like that really do make a huge difference.
Well, they are difference maker, and I tell you that's a great example. So, Doc, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be packing my shampoo and conditioner when I go get my hair whacked on next time. I'm just saying. I love that idea. Are you kidding me already? And so the amount of toxins we're exposed to is off the charts crazy. They build up in your body. And if this last comment doesn't help you talk about toxins and having a toxin-free lifestyle, and we'll close with this comment, and Doc will close out as well, but the umbilical cord should be the most safest, purest, toxin-free zone on the entire planet. The umbilical cord should be the place that you should have the best purity of nutrition running through it. Instead, the average umbilical cord has 248 toxins in it, going right to that brand new little baby. And it's all self-induced toxicity. I mean, come on. Do you want to just open up the umbilical cord and just pour a bunch of toxins in it for your baby that's going to be birthed in a few months? I don't think so. And we can stop it by stopping putting toxins. A lot of people, well, I don't use all the makeup and stuff. Cool. You're still, and we talked about the environment. We talked about the air, the water, and the food. And a lot of people think, well, because they have a garden, Doc, they really think this. And this is a farm boy. We did this. We let our fields rest for a year and a half before we planted anything on them again. And even to go to a biblical suggestion, it talks about a 2-year rest, a 5-year, and a 7-year rest, but it depends on what kind of food that you're putting and planting. And so a lot of people are planting their gardens in the same spot over and over and over and over, and that topsoil has already been depleted. You should have basically 3 garden spots, and one is setting for 2 years, and then it's being used, and kind of rotate those garden spots around like that. If you're not that guy doing that, there's a pretty good chance that there's not near the nutrition in your fruits and vegetables that you think there are. However, you know, we can get that. You open up the bottle of Spectramax and you look at that picture that's in the new big, huge catalog. You say, how do you talk about the products? Well, real simple. I don't anymore. I open up that picture, and when you see all the fruits and vegetables that are, you see half the bottle split in two, then it shows you what's in the bottle with the next picture. And I'm telling you, that speaks for itself. Doc, you're amazing. Love your wisdom, insight, knowledge. Love the fact that you got an incredible sense of humor. And we just get to laughing and goofing off sometimes. But what a great call today, just to give people some tools they can use to begin to talk about the products. And so, Doc, anything you want to say as we close out?
Yeah, the last thing that I just want to leave everybody thinking about is, you know, you heard me talking about, you know, living in a bubble. We can't live in a bubble. And that, but what you can do is you can make your body as healthy as it could possibly be. Change the products, and you're not going to get rid of all the toxins. You can't change everything about it. You're going to go out for dinner at someone else's house. You're going to go out for dinner at a restaurant. You're going to drink some water that's going to have something in it. You can't always be in control. So what you want to do is you also want to make your body as strong as you possibly can. Think of it like, you know, my kids used to always tell Chuck Norris jokes. You know, they'd say, hey, when Chuck Norris jumps, he doesn't actually move. The earth moves underneath his feet, right? And that was one of their jokes that I always remember, Chuck Norris joke. Well, what if you could make your body Chuck Norris strong? What if you could make your body so that when a toxin comes in, it's more scared of you than you are of it? And that's what we do with the other Sisel products. When you take Body Shield, guess what it's doing? It's pulling those toxins out. When you're drinking the super hydrogen water, it's neutralizing those toxins. It's turning toxins into water. When you're using the Fucoidin, it's pulling the toxins out. When you're using the Eternity with the resveratrol, it's doing anti-angiogenesis. It's cutting off the blood supply to tumors. That's the research on it. And so if you're using the 4Restore, it's making the arteries stronger and healthier. And if you can do that, what that's going to do is that's going to make it so that the liver it's not working overtime, just taking care of the daily day-to-day things that you're doing. Now it has the time to actually say, oh, there's a toxin, and it detoxifies it. So think about that. Make your body Chuck Norris strong on the inside, and then when you do go to those things that you will be exposed to, your body knows how to get rid of them. Back to you, DW.
Doc, you're cracking me up, man. I love it. I love it. You know, it's a lot of it is attitude, and you know, and giving people an opportunity to do lifestyle. I want to correct myself. I said veggie cleanse. It's actually organic cleanse, is what ours is called. I said veggie so people can relate to it, but it's organic cleanse, and you want to order some of that. It is for washing your fruits and vegetables and even your meats to get all the junk off of them, and it puts them to where they're edible. That's it for the Doctor's Clinic call today. Hopefully we've given you some insights on how to talk to people about the products and allowing just pure honesty to come out and expose what they're using versus what they could be using. So go ahead, make yourself Chuck Norris strong. Get some Sisel products from the person that turned you on to this call, and start the process. Clean out your bathroom, go to the kitchen, clean out your own body, and get the toxins out. Doc, appreciate you. You know that already, and everybody on the call, thanks for being part of this call. And we'll see you the same place, same time next week on the Doctor's Clinic call. This is Daniel Whited and Dr. Kurt Fisnick over and out. Thank you for being a part.
Bye-bye.